summertime roll. Oh, stretch. Yes, on cue. Life is good, huh? Oh, back and forth. Yes. Good, Elsa. Yes. Oh, yes. Infinite rolling back and forth. Mm-hmm.
So I'm home from lunch. Uh, Home for lunch, I should say. Smoking my one and only Ardor. Quite a pipe there. Way more. Their high standards are way higher than mine. Obviously, a gift from a good friend of mine. So, an Ardor aficionado himself. So, share what you like. That's what I would say. I'm smoking some of Eric's porter from Faders that he had sent me. There's a little aromatic in there. I don't know what it is. It was pretty dark. I think it's mostly Cavendish, probably, which I'm not usually a big fan of. I mean, Cavendish is a process, so not a tobacco. So it could be made from Virginia. It most likely is made from Burley. Seems like, yeah, Cavendish is a cheaper product oftentimes. But no bite, so far as I can tell. So my house is small. I'm home for lunch. And it's small. It's like 550 square feet. So, not a tiny house. Tiny homes, tiny shelters are usually less than 200 square feet. And 200 square feet is, in most of the country, the U.S., due to the Uniform Building Code, is 200 square feet is the upper limit that you can build without a permit. And the permitting process, no matter probably where you are, but in these bigger counties, this is the fifth biggest county in Washington state, um, so there's a bit of bureaucracy and cost. And I'm not quite sure what a permit for a small structure would be over 200 square feet. I've been thinking about building a pole garage, so I may get to find that out, but currently, tiny homes. So I have a few books. It's kind of a hot topic in this county right now because one of our county commissioners really took a shine to the idea of tiny homes as transitional shelter to get people back on their feet. So we're going to have some little demo projects. And locally here in my town, there's going to be a little 4 to 6 house demo project. So we'll see how that works. I've attended a few public hearings down at the county and here where I work. And people are actually almost uniformly, actually they are unanimously for the idea of tiny houses as a way to bring people out of homelessness, and even for themselves, you know. But in this case, its intent is really to help homeless folks get back on their feet, or people who are, well, they'd be homeless. I mean, I guess that pretty much covers it. Like a single mom with a kid or two after a domestic, and she can't go back there. You know, tough situation. So they're living out of their cars, they're living in the woods. Seattle, Washington is has the third most homeless per capita of anywhere in the country. And you know, it's climate based. You don't want to be living in the winter in New York City homeless, I wouldn't think. Or Buffalo, New York. Or Minneapolis. They found his frozen corpse. So, so there's kind of a bit of buzz. And locally, you know, there's been buzz for a while, but it's just kind of hitting us here in the sticks. So, Lloyd Kahn, you know, has written a number of books, and there are a bunch of them out there. But, you know, it's just filled with these great ideas, you know, these kind of mature hippies putting their ideas to work. And I love that. I just love it. This is so inspiring. But in our local newspaper, there was an article on the public hearing a couple days ago. No, last week. And, no, this week, earlier. Tuesday. It's now Friday. So, what's in this porter, Eric? So, it's NIMBY. People are saying, you know, I really like the idea of tiny houses, tiny shelters, just not in my neighborhood, please. So, there's that. There were some people who stood up and said, hey, put it in our neighborhood. We would welcome that. You know, we're that kind of neighborhood. We're those kind of people where we have a sense of social justice, a sense of social responsibility, and we will do what we can to help them along. And we would consider that a plus in our neighborhood. So there are a few of those. Mostly those like, So, interestingly, the sheriff here in this county, the guy who runs law enforcement basically, and I've gotten to know him pretty well through some other channels, but he came out and said, you know, I've looked at this for several years and I am all for it. I've talked to police departments in other municipalities that have adopted these tiny shelter ideas for curbing some homelessness, and he said he's all for it. It works. Crime, it tends to reduce crime. They tend not to be crime centers. And it gets people out of the woods. Sunny weekend coming up. So, you know, Europeans have long, the social safety net is pretty much there. Everything's pretty small, you know, honestly, unless you've got oodles of money. So, so this is kind of a really new idea for us, where it seems like when people build a house here, they build like this huge house, you know, the kids are gone, they're moving out of the house they raised the kids in, and this older retired couple now has 5,000 square feet of floor space. It's like, and like 5 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms, and it's just like, really? I don't know, whatever. But I love the idea of these tiny homes.